Hi guys, and welcome to Gardening Time. Today I'm going to take you on a tour around our property and show you what we have growing in our garden beds this time of year in growing zone 5A in northern Illinois. I'm also going to show you a few of the projects that we have planned for this year 2024. All right, let's go ahead and get started. All right, we're going to start here in our west side garden. The reason we call it the west side garden is because it is along the west side of our property. So right now there's really not a whole lot going on. You could see I still have some deer-proof cages on some of our plants to prevent the deers from munching them down. We have a little plant here. This is a lamb's ear, and I planted that actually last spring. So that definitely looks like it made it, and it is coming back. Right behind that, I have some, oh gosh, I can't remember the name on that plant. If I think about it, I'll put it up on the screen. This plant here is a Little Miss Kim lilac. I just planted that one. I don't know if it's going to survive or not, but I dug that out from alongside of our house because we need to, basically we need to remove the whole entire shrub, but it sprouted some babies, and so when I dug this one up, it had a little bit of roots to it, so I thought I'd go ahead and stick it in the ground and see what happens. There's really not a whole lot else going on in terms of greenery. Everything is pretty much still hibernating in its hibernation mode. Here is some. Yeah, this is Roman chamomile. So I have both varieties, the German and the Roman. However, the Roman, I planted this from seed last spring. Didn't really get a lot of flowers from it, but it looks like it's coming back. This is hardy in our zone. So I'm hoping this year we get some flowers from it, because I'd really like to harvest those and see how they taste in tea. We got our mungo pine back there. I actually have 3 of those, and those are still they're still rather small. And then I've got some needle thread, I think that's what they're called, needle thread cypress. I've got 2 of those, one here and one here. And this stuff here, it's a chamomile, Callaway chamomile, I think is what it's called, but it's not the same chamomile as the white flowered versions. This is actually a yellow flower, and it's a bit bigger than the German and Roman chamomile, and this is not used for making tea with. However, they do say it is an edible plant, but I basically planted it for the flowers. However, I didn't realize how large this plant got, and so I'm going to back up here. You can see the edge of the border on this bed is like right here. These plants actually get like 4 feet tall. And so I'm going to be digging all of these up and relocating them farther down, which I'll show you where I was planning on putting these. And just coming down here, you can see again, there's just really not a whole lot going on right now. Again, we've got some Roman chamomile. Again, I planted these last spring from seed, and those seem like they're coming back really well, along with some weeds. So I'm definitely going to have to come in here pretty soon here and do some serious weeding. Got our new copper bird bath, which I absolutely love. Right here. And in terms of bulbs so far, all of these, it looks like grass, but these are actually saffron crocuses. I haven't had them bloom for me yet. I don't know if we're too cold for them, but they certainly are surviving, because this is going to be their third year in the ground, and so they're coming back. So maybe one day I'll be able to get some flowers and actually harvest some saffron. I still got a lot of cleaning up to do in this bed. You can see these are spent mums that I gotta cut those. I gotta cut those back to the ground. And let's see. All right, so this is towards the end of the west side garden, the south end of the garden. And these, they just look like sticks right now, but this is actually a nepeta. And when it's in bloom, it's just like a whole hedge of these tiny purple flowers. Absolutely beautiful. And what I have growing behind it, I have a grass that is not doing too well, and I think it just needs to be put in a different location. So I'm going to be digging up that grass. I'm also going to be digging up these sedum back here, because the sedum, you can see how tall they are. I've got to cut those back too, or the spent growth, but it tells you how tall they are, like how, about approximately how tall they are, which is roughly, I would say probably maybe 2 feet tall. And that is about as tall as the nepeta gets. So they kind of get lost in the background. So I'm going to dig those up, and then all along the back here, I'm going to plant that Callaway chamomile that I showed you. So you're going to have this huge flush of yellow flowers rising up in the background behind the nepeta with the purple flowers. I think that would actually be really pretty. So I'm going to be working on that probably in the next couple of weeks, because I want to go ahead and get those projects done before the plants start to come out of their dormancy. All right, I think that's kind of like really it in this garden. I mean, I'm going to pan and show you. Yeah, there's just not a whole lot going on right now. It's like everything is, everything is still asleep. So, all right, I'm going to take you, I'm going to show you one of the 2024 projects that I'm super excited about. Let me go show you that. All right, this is a look at the back of our house, actually directly behind our garage. So this has been a neglected spot for many years. And I used to have a small flower garden back here, but that kind of got left by the wayside when we were doing several other projects with the house. And anyhow, long story short, my husband and I finally made a decision that this was going to be the year that we were going to transform this area here. And we're super excited about it. So let me tell you the plans. So first off, that cement bench that you see back there is going to be moved out. And that lilac tree, that's the Little Miss Kim lilac tree, that's going to be taken out. We're going to bring in some fill dirt and kind of not level the ground out completely, but level it out a little bit more, because especially over on this side, it's really got a downward slope to it. Then we're going to go ahead and install 2 raised beds. So we're going to get 2 8-foot long by 4-foot wide raised beds that are about 32 inches tall. And those are going to go in, I don't know how well you can see the stakes, but we put some stakes in the ground and measured them out just to kind of get an initial layout of how we want things. So the beds are going to go long ways. They're going to go this way, and we're going to just put them back to back. And then over on this side over here, my husband is building a horizontal beehive, and so he's going to be putting that right over here. And what my plan is to basically put down a border, probably some bricks or something like that, to separate the grass from the garden bed area, and then mulch the inside of it just to make it look nice and to keep the weeds from growing everywhere. This back area, for whatever reason, is really bad with the weeds coming up. So I'm going to put some landscaping material down, and then roll mulch on top of that. And then we're also going to be taking out those cement blocks you see by the door. That's what we've been using for a step. Of course, we don't really use that door much right now, but anyhow. And he's also going to be building a nice step, so it looks a little bit more nicer back here. But yeah, so I'm super excited about this project. It'll be nice to be able to have this kind of finished off and looking nice. And so you can see, so this is our back deck. So our back deck will basically open out right out in towards the beds, which I think will be really nice. Okay, let me go ahead and take you and show you the garden beds, the vegetable beds. Okay, this is our newest raised bed. We installed this, it's been 2 years ago. And last fall, I got this enclosure that fits the bed perfectly widthwise. And I think it's about half, it covers about half of the bed. And my plans are to grow some, like the kale and broccoli, cauliflower, maybe some collard greens, those types of things that don't really need pollination from, they don't need to be pollinated. To grow those inside of this netted area, because we have a huge problem with those white butterflies. And it was just last year, I didn't even get to really even harvest any kale. I mean, they were just horrible, and I just couldn't get a handle on them. So anyhow, hopefully this year we'll be able to get a harvest with this netted area. And next to that, my plans are to grow, well, I've got, you can see I've got garlic here. I'll come in and show you. I've got garlic growing right now, and I'm thinking I'm going to grow in this little patch here. I'm going to grow some popcorn corn, like a patch of that, like maybe like 4 feet by 4 feet, and try that out. I don't know. We'll see. All right. This is our blueberry bed. It also has raspberries and blackberries in it as well. It's along the fence that encloses our 2 raised vegetable beds. But I wanted to show you, I've already started to redo the border on this bed. I stopped, you can see I stopped like right about there. I'm actually expanding it a bit farther because as you get down a bit farther, like last year, the raspberries were like coming right to the edge. And I just wanted to give a little bit more breathing space. So yeah, I've got to finish cutting that in all the way down to the end. But so far it's looking really good. And I also had to enclose our blueberries. I was only able to do half of them because I noticed that something has been chomping the blueberry stalks. I don't think it's a deer. I actually think it's rabbits because my taller blueberry branches were untouched. It just seems to be like the shorter ones. So let me show you. I don't know if any of you guys have experienced this problem or not, but see, like right there, how it's just, you can see it's just been cut off. So I need to get some more of this netting here to put around the plants. I think once they come back, you know, once they start to flush out, I think they'll be fine, because I've never had this problem in the summertime. I've never noticed this problem before, and you know, we've always had rabbits, so I'm thinking they'll be fine once they flush out. I'm thinking right now what they're eating, like the bloom part, for whatever reason. All right, and this is a look at the vegetable beds. So right now there's really not a lot going on. Yeah, so not yet, but we've got plans. All right, so I want to show you, so this right here is a blue spruce, and I've had it in this half barrel for I think 2 years now. I tried to get it out last year, but I could not get the thing out of the pot. So this year I am determined to get this thing out of the pot and get it planted. I've already got the location of where I'd like it to go marked. So it's just a matter of getting it out of the pot. So hopefully my husband can help me with that. Yeah. And these are just some plants that I bought these on clearance, and I overwintered them in, you know, I overwintered them in our raised garden beds. So what I do is I just will dig a hole in the raised beds and then sink the pots down. So I keep them in their plastic containers, sink the pots down into the ground, and what that does is it kind of acts as extra insulation on the roots. And I've always had really good success with that. I just recently pulled them out to get the raised beds ready for planting. Okay, so we have really good news. I'm going to see if I can zoom in here. Whoops. Let's see. So our bees, well, one hive anyhow, looks like it's made it through most of the winter. So fingers crossed. They are doing well. The colony is doing good. And yeah, we'll be able to hopefully split them this spring. And if my husband doesn't have the one hive ready, the horizontal hive ready yet, that would be just fine, because we have an empty hive sitting right here that's basically ready to go if we need to use that in the meantime. So, but yeah, super happy. bees are doing really good. Okay. Okay, this is a look at our grapevine. I still have to come in and do some pruning, but other than that, it is looking really good. This is a look at our chickens, and they are they are doing really good too. So they're always, every time I come outside of the house, like they come running out of the coop because they're like, do you have anything for me? You have any food? So I'm constantly bringing them out like scraps, you know, vegetable, fruit scraps, or I'll come out with some dried mealworms or some corn and throw them in. Yeah, they're a little spoiled, but they're happy chickens. So next thing up is our front garden beds. So this is the newest garden bed, and this is actually a tiny bed. It's like maybe three by 3 foot. I mean, it's not that big at all, but I am really happy to report that this multicolor bugleweed has come back. It did fantastic over our winter, as you can see. Like, it's already like starting to flush out, so I'm really happy about that. And then I have a rhododendron in the back, and that has never bloomed for me since I've planted it. This is going to be its 3rd year, so fingers crossed we get some blooms from it this year. Okay, and here we are. This is our front. Let me zoom out a little bit. Okay, this is our front garden bed, and it is still pretty much in its dormancy. There are a few bulbs that are coming up. I'm trying to think of the name. Allium, that's right. The alliums are coming up. And there's also some tulips coming up here. I'll give you a close-up on this bed. I did come in yesterday and I was able to do some cleaning up of it. So, I mean, I didn't get everything. So first thing I want to show you, you can see how there's a lot of crushed leaves on the center of my hydrangeas and roses. I do that every year to protect the root ball of the plant. I put, usually I'll contain it in chicken wire. So I'll put chicken wire around the whole plant, and then I'll fill that with crushed leaves. So I've already come in and I've already taken out as much of the crushed leaves as I could, but there is still some that is close down to the base of it that is still frozen. So I wasn't able to pull all of that away from the plant yet. Yeah, so looking down here, you can see my hellebores are getting ready to bloom. They've got quite a few blooms coming out. I absolutely love these plants. I haven't been able to find any hellebores in any of our local stores, period. I got these like, I don't know, I think it's been like 4 years ago. But I got them, I drove like, it was about an hour drive from here, and I was able to find some. I think it was at a Home Depot. But yeah, I absolutely love the hellebores. They're like one of the very first plants to flower for me. And you can see back here that all that green that you see, those are the alliums coming in. And I don't know if you guys can see like these little green tips coming up here. Those I believe are daffodils coming in. And all this green, it looks like green grass. This is all muscari. So last year I had a beautiful flush of muscari. It was like purple flowers, like all along the front of this border bed. So pretty. We'll see if we get that this year. I'm hoping we do. And yeah, this is my other hellebore. So I tried to match, I basically split this bed in half and tried to match each side up. So yeah, this is the same variety of hellebore, and I can't think of the name of the variety, but it's kind of like a blush white flower. It's really pretty. Okay. Okay, over here in this little bed here, I have another rhododendron, and that one, I think I got one bloom off of it last year, but it wasn't anything spectacular. So I don't know. Maybe rhododendron just aren't doing well for this area. I don't know. Or maybe I'm doing something wrong, or maybe I haven't planted in the wrong location. I don't know, but they really seem to be struggling. So I'm going to give them, like, because they're still green, I'm going to give them, you know, a year or two longer to do something. And if I don't get anything out of them, I might be pulling those and maybe moving them, or I don't know, potting them, maybe trying them in pots and putting something else there that I can appreciate, like a rose or something. Something that's going to give me beautiful flowers in the during the year. Anyhow, so I also have some of that multicolored bugleweed growing in, and I also have muscari planted in this bed as well. So I'm anxious to see how that does this year. And then this is the west side garden bed right up against the house. This is a shade garden, and especially like back behind here on this section here, it almost gets total shade. So it's kind of a tricky bed to plant in, but this R variety that I have, I think it's called a techno arb. Anyhow, it stays small. It doesn't really get very big. This is I think its third year in the pot that it's currently in, and it is just doing fantastic. So this plant, I love it because it's one of those plants that you can just kind of forget about it. And you know, I mean, you got to water it every now and then because it is in a pot, but I mean, other than that, some water, a little bit of fertilizer in the springtime, and that's really all the attention this plant gets, and it just does fantastic. Yeah, underneath that, again, like everything is still kind of in its sleep state. I've got to remulch everything, but you can see, I don't know how well you guys can see on there, I do have some tulips coming in and some daffodils that are starting to peak up. Super exciting. Oh, look over here. Oh my goodness. Okay. I don't know how well you guys can see them. But yeah, oh my gosh. I always get so excited whenever I see the daffodils and tulips start to peak up. Okay, well, that is going to do it for our garden tour today. And hope you guys are having a wonderful and blessed day. And we'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye-bye.